3 AIs, 90 episodes, 1 Unity game. Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude each get 30 days to build it. Let's see what happens.
That's right, 3 AIs, 1 game. Welcome back, everybody. And the first timers also, welcome, welcome. In the last episode, we implemented this little guy, which is our weapon systems power up. And as soon as you collect that, you'll be able to fire away. And first things first, if you've noticed, I don't know, you have a little bug here. It's a tiny pineapple shape here, but once I click play, it turns into a cherry. And then the other problem is, of course, it's super tiny compared to everything else on screen. So let's quickly tackle this one and see why we're having this problem. So one thing I did notice is if I drag a cherry in here, it's massive next to the pineapple. Same thing with our orange, which we're using for our coins, so or points system rather. But anything other than these two, you bring up here, and those are very tiny. So that should be the first thing that we will try and fix. So first things first, let's see how these cherries and um, oranges are configured. So cherry, I can see sprite mode is multiple, pixels per unit is 32. We wanted to use the pineapple. Let's compare that. So it's set to 100. So I think that might be the problem. Set it to 32. Let's see what else. Okay, yes, save it. Save it to 32. Okay, so that was a simple fix, I guess. That pretty much did the trick. The only question is it going to reflect once I click play? Let's see. So for whatever reason, that cherry power up we have is or that rather pineapple power up we have is still showing me a cherry there. So what if I just delete that and bring in another one next to it? Let's see what happens. Okay, I don't understand. Oh, maybe because of the animation. I think that is probably the best explanation we have for this. Um, let's see. Let's delete this one. And over here, let's see. Is there an animation somewhere? Animate. Let's see. I forgot how we added animations previously. Always animate. So I think that might be the problem there. Is the Yeah, we do have an animator here, and I think that might be the. Let's see, do we have an animation for our cherries? Okay, so I think this is the problem, right? We have this animation for our cherries, and that's set to this one, and that is probably what's causing the problem with this prefab. So let's see. Let me do the idle animation for the pineapple. Should be items, fruits, pineapple, and I'll do a control, click through everything. Do I need to slice it? I don't think so. It looks pretty good to me. 32. What about sprite editor? Yeah, it looks like those are all sliced already. So let me just do shift and I'll drag and drop this and it's going to ask me to save this animation. This one should go in our animations folder and should just be called pineapple underscore idle. And that's our animation for the pineapple. And let's see where we can add this into our prefab. Energy weapon power up. So animator. Cherry 0 should probably not be the controller. Should probably be. I don't even know where this Cherry 0 is actually coming from. Is there? Okay, so that guy there. So all we need to do is add the pineapple 0. You gotta scroll down a bit. Add that guy in there, and hopefully that does the trick. Let's see. Okay, perfect. You have to try that again. There we go. Looks great. We got pineapple and double jump. Also, we gotta add the power up. But before we do that, let me go back to my Gemio bug tracker, bugs and features tracker. See, it's gonna be add energy weapon power up um, on symbol. I'm just trying to word this properly. Don't have great ideas right now, but icon maybe. Icon to the top right once collected. Add or display maybe is a better word. Display the power up icon on the top right once collected or once active. Collected and active. And this should be a feature. And it should be a bit of a high priority item. And effort should not be that much, maybe 2. And create the issue. Okay, so that's in there. The other thing we need to tackle is this bug here before we fire button not working in other than sandbox scenes. So the only level where this fire feature works is in our sandbox environment. So let's try to figure out what the problem is there. And just so I can show you that it doesn't work. So fire button now works. I go to level 1, button no longer works. And we know for a fact that it should persist. Um, so because, well, if you want to know why, because it uses identical logic to persist as the double jump. So we have our double jump collected. And double jump works here. We didn't have to pick it up, but fire doesn't. So might be something to do with the changes not getting pushed outside the sandbox. Maybe master prefab issue. So let's see. Overrides, no overrides here. Explosion effect. No overrides. Energy weapon power up. Okay, so let's see. What's going on here? Okay, animator. So we need to, this is not going to be relevant to the problem. This animator is just to fix the cherry appearing instead of pineapple. Level goal, irrelevant. Double jump power up is irrelevant. Maybe the fire button itself. Mobile UI canvas overrides. No overrides here. Mobile controls. No, it's not a prefab. So I'm trying to understand why the fire button does not work other than our sandbox environment. So I think this is the time to stop wasting time and bring in our buddy ChatGPT. By the way, this is also something that we briefly touched yesterday, but fire button should go away when you don't have that power up collected. But for now, let's cut it out and say the fire button does not work other than the sandbox scene. Help debug. Let me know if you need anything. Okay, so it's done processing. And the very first thing it's mentioning is it thinks the power up was not collected, so that's not true. We already know that. So I think this is what's likely the problem. We only modified the player in our sandbox scene and added the player shooting component there and didn't propagate it. So that should be a quick fix there. Let's see our player um, overrides and player input. Let's apply all. And let's test it out. Okay, now let's go to level 1. And it's working now. So that was a quick bug fix there. Super happy. Fire button is now working everywhere. And this is shipped. Who? Done. All right, I think we're good there. So next thing comes, okay, so let me just confirm here. By the way, I just pasted this from the text that I just cut out. Okay, but it turned out to be problem number 2. You identified player shooting wasn't added to the other scenes. Let's see what we have. So all these tests, start a new run, confirm fire does nothing before collecting the power up. That's true. Confirm firing works once you collect it. That's true. Restart level, confirm weapon remains unlocked, and just quickly test it. Yeah, let's do a restart. And yep, it stays unlocked. All right, move to another level. Yes, we've done that. Start a new run from main menu and confirm it becomes locked again. And verify the persistence for double jump, which we've already done. Just see, yep, no more firing. Let's go back to the main menu and start from there. Neither do you have a double jump, so all good. Stop there, and all tests passed. And then it wants me to give it the UI manager to hide the fire button while locked in, restored automatically. So let's do that now. All right, so I gave it the UI manager, just dragged and dropped the file, and I'll delete this. Here's the UI manager as requested to hide the fire button. And while it's processing, I'll add something else, which is, I think, very important, and that is make our buttons look better. Make our buttons look more aesthetic slash pleasing to the eye, and because our buttons right now are quite atrocious and it doesn't get worse than that. So I think I'll do high priority maybe for this one also, and should be a feature for sure. Or like a polish, right? It's not that's a polish because buttons exist already. I'm thinking it might be high effort, so let's put it at 3 and create the issue. All right, and now let's open up our UI manager script. We're gonna follow some instructions. All right, so add the fire button as an inspector reference in the UI manager and set its initial visibility from the run state and enable it immediately when when the power up is collected. So that should definitely be something we add here, right? So fire button. No. Okay, it's hide fire button when power up is not collected and weapon power up. And the feature, medium priority. Let's just do high since we were tackling it already, just to keep track of everything we're doing. Okay. Modify UI manager, existing power up section, add um, these two objects. So got our double jump icon that's already there actually. Fire button is the one we need. All right, so fire button. Just make sure this is the only reference. Yep. Okay, in the awake function, add this validation. All right, so make sure the fire button is assigned. Otherwise, throw that error in the console. In the start function, we need to add this block. So display each fire up control only if it's currently unlocked. Okay, what is that? And start function. Yeah. Okay, then add this new method near enable double jump icon. Put it there. And we're just setting it to active. This gives the fire button two visibility paths. So loading a scene start restores its state from run state and collecting the power up. Enable fire button and reveals it immediately. So it's pretty straightforward there. Modify game manager. Let's open it up. Enable double jump UI. And what are we adding there? Enable fire button. Okay. Wait, that's a totally different function, isn't it? Fire button UI. Yep. Okay, cool. I'll add it here. And this keeps your existing design. Power-ups communicate through Game Manager, and Game Manager passes UI work to UI Manager. And we need to modify energy, weapon, power-up. Energy, weapon, power-up. What's going on here? After unlocking the weapon, notify the UI. Run state unlock energy weapon. Run state unlock energy weapon. So this is where we're calling it. Once we pick up the power up. So after that, if game manager is not null, then we show that button. Ooh, and that portion should now resemble. Yep, it does. Let's add that comment in there. and assign the fire button in every scene. Because fire button lives under your separate mobile UI canvas, its reference probably cannot be stored directly inside the UI manager prefab assets or asset. So we need to assign that into every scene. Okay, that seems tedious, but it should be doable. So let's save our scripts and see if we run into an issue without having that manual work done, which it probably will throw some error in the console. Okay, and let's see. Expecting some sort of an error. Yep, fire button is assigned. What happens? So the fire button is there. Right. Cool. Well, all we need to do is go to our UI manager and where is our mobile controls fire button? Okay, fire button goes in there. And we have to repeat this for our other scenes. Well, level 1, mobile UI canvas, mobile controls, and it goes into our UI manager, fire button. That's tedious, but thankfully we only have 3 levels made. So UI manager, where are you? Okay, there you are. Mobile UI canvas, mobile controls, and fire button gets dropped. Save. Last but not least, level 3. Come on. Cancel. Fire button. Get assigned there and save it. All right, and now let's clear the console. And let's see if the fire button disappears. All right, it's gone. Don't see it. You gotta make the animation faster for this one, similar to that one, right? Anyway, let's see if it appears as soon as I collect it. Boom, nice, very cool. All right, everything works as expected, and let's see what we have. Test run new run fire button is hidden. Collect weapon and it appears. Retry. Fire button remains visible. Let's do that real quick. All right, restart. Yep, remains visible. Enter another level. It remains visible. That's tested. Fire button is hidden once you go back from the main menu and starting in a gameplay scene directly from the editor, it should be hidden because no power up has been collected in that run. I think we can safely expect that to work, so I'll avoid putting in that time. And where should we go to from here? I think we should quickly work on the icon in the screen once you collect it. So let's see what it suggests we do. All tests passed. Let's see if it remembers that we have the icon. It should be visible once you collect it. Like we do. I mean, it's not, didn't really provide it as a requirement, but that is something that happens with the double jump power up. Just to clarify what I'm talking about, it's this guy here. Once you collect the double jump, it comes up. So I'm thinking like once you collect this, that should also come up here. So, you know, probably get to that part. And before we do that, let's go to our pineapple zero animation and idle, and I'll set the speed to match our cherries. What are the cherry at? Cherry idle 3, so I'll do 3. 3. And go back into the scene. Game maybe. Yep. See? Much better. Okay, cool. Fire button visibility. Hit not click killing the player. Leave sandbox trophy animation. Later polish or how does it know? Did I already tell ChatGPT about this, or is it reading from this site? Anyway, we should probably get. It doesn't remember that we have this unlockable logo on this screen. So where should we fix that at? Not logo, icon rather. Mobile controls. That's probably not where it is. Let's see. UI manager. Yeah, this is where it is. So UI manager needs to have double jump icon. I should do another one, just duplicated it, and this one should be the energy weapon icon. Energy weapon icon. Right, and the icon for this should be items, fruits, and should be pineapple zero. Okay, and let me just apply this to the master. So that should be in the UI manager, apply all, and I'll open the prefab itself. Okay, so let's see, temporarily I'll enable this one and this one so that we can position it properly. Negative 160, nope, 80, 90 maybe, 80, 90, yeah, 90 I like. Double jump and energy weapon. Those boxes should be more tightly wrapped. I think 80 by 80. Nah, actually, never mind. Never mind. It's just the way it's cropped or sliced. Makes the box go um, much further out than the actual image. But anyway, this icon should only be visible once you have collected that power up. So let's see if we can figure it out ourselves. UI manager icon, maybe double jump icon is null, double jump icon. So yeah, we need an enable fire button or fire up energy weapon icon. Sorry, enable double jump. So instead of this, it should be 0 references. It's weird. Anyway, it should be probably being called from GameManager, I think. Enable fire energy weapon icon. And we'll do double jump icon. Now that I think about it, I don't even think we need a new method for it. We can just enable the icon at the same time as the button itself. So we will, however, have that variable for it. So double jump icon, I'll do the same thing here. Just copy, paste, and it should be energy weapon icon. And we're gonna go to our double jump icon is null. Okay. And if fire or energy weapon icon is not equal null, see fire button is not true, energy weapon icon. It's set active, run state that has energy weapon unlocked. Okay. So this should make the energy weapon icon visible or invisible, depending on if the power up is collected. And enable fire button dot set active is true, and I'll also do dot set active true. And let's see, where are we setting it to false, if anywhere? Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, nowhere are we setting it to false, so I'll save the script and go back to our game. Okay, and from here, so it looks like we got some sort of a prefab for our. Okay, yeah, this is where it goes. Double jump energy weapon icon. This is where the energy weapon icon goes, and that should do the trick. So let's make these two invisible by default and see if it works as expected. Okay, so double jump will show up once I collect it. Nice, and will fire button or icon show up. Nice. Cool. Let's see if it stays. Whoa, why did it go away? Why did it go away? I think I know exactly why it went. UI manager. Fire energy weapon icon. So double jump icon. Let's see, where is it getting called? All right, start function. Run state that has energy weapon unlocked. Okay. Okay, cool. Trying to think why it didn't persist into the next level. I think I know why. I think because we didn't override to the master. So let's try again, applying, and one more time. And there we go. It works. By the way, do we add logic to not let the weapon fire once you hit the trophy? Because I thought that was something we used to have. Like you could hit the trophy and still keep firing. But anyway, yes, it kind of worked out in our favor because that was something I wanted to tackle. And I think that should be pretty much it for the firing feature. So weapon feature is complete. I'll just quickly drop the UI manager for a quick review because of I added some logic to show the icon of the energy weapon below the double jump icon. So just here's the updated script and just a quick review of it in case it would have done things differently, So, okay, so seems like the logic is correct, but it would add a null safety check. Okay, cool. So it wants me to get rid of two things and start. Two checks. Fire button and energy weapon icon check. Set energy weapon UI. That's a lot of weird modification it's suggesting. Okay, I'll do it. Probably knows what it's talking about. I don't have the energy to analyze it too critically. Replace enable. I feel like this is gonna happen so much with AI. It's just engineers are gonna be tired and they're gonna be like, you know what? It probably knows what it's talking about. So replace enable fire button with enable fire button. It just wants me to get rid of all the logic in there. Okay, cool. And then add this. So this is the new method that comes in. Just paste it there. What's happening here? Keep the fire button and weapon in the same state. Okay, so it just moved everything, all our null checks to here. Okay, and then finally, this validation to await. So, okay. Ooh, that should be the last one. And that's it. Save it, compile it. I'll do one quick run. Okay, icon there. And it works. And I'll see you guys in the next video.